Hey all, how are you? So, first off, thank you for clicking on this video because you know it's about to be some mess because I can get a little goofy sometimes. Second of all, this is just gonna be a little chat between me and you, okay? We're gonna talk about this story that a friend told me. No names will be mentioned. So, a friend of mine once said they report all animal products that they see on like Facebook as inciting violence or whatever. And at first, I laughed it off. It was funny. Like, yeah. But then I started actually thinking about it, y'all. I started really thinking about it and considering it. And I realized that it is, in fact, inciting violence. So hear me out. That animal, before it got to your plate, had its throat slit. It was tortured before that. You know what? No, because the throat might not have even been slit. He could have been electrocuted. He or she could have been electrocuted. He or she could have had a bolt gun put to the head, or it could have had his throat slit, or he could have had his foot up against his head and had his body yanked from his head. Like, there's so many different ways that they can kill these animals. And then before they even get to the violent death, they are murdered, okay? Violently, okay? Violence. Murder is violence, okay? Just put that part together. So that's the first thing. Before they even get to that part, they're tortured, right? Whether it's being beat or electrocuted or kicked or whatever, they're tortured. They are regularly tortured. They are put in cages or they're put in cement rooms. They are tortured, all right? They live their life in a horrible fashion. So then you have before that, for many of the animals, they are raped. I said what I said, I meant what I said, they are raped, okay? It's rape. However you like to put it, it's rape. They take their fist, if it's a cow, they take their fist and they literally put their fist inside the cow. How is that not rape? Okay, but before that, they have to put the cow in what they call a rape rack. We didn't coin that term. The industry did. A rape rack. Rape is violence. Rape is an act of violence. Sticking your fist inside somebody is an act of violence. It's an act of violence. And then after they stick their fist inside them, then they take a giant syringe and put it inside them. That's another act of violence. And they inseminate them, forcing them to be pregnant. Then they carry their baby for 9 full months, just like we humans do. Their body produces milk out of their tatas, just like our humans do, specifically for their baby. How is it not violence to force someone to be pregnant, to force someone to carry a baby, to hold someone in a prison, essentially, and do all of this? How is that not an act of violence? How is that not an act of violence, right? And then they have the baby taken away from them, which is kidnapping, so that we humans can drink the breast milk of a cow that was meant for their baby. But hey, let you tell it, it's not an act of violence, right? So you might be saying, but technically it's not an act of violence because those are violent acts, but the act of actually eating meat isn't. But here's where you're wrong. Here is where you're wrong. The act of eating meat, the act of buying meat and cooking it and displaying it is act of violence, because what you're doing is you are cooking a dead corpse. You're cooking the corpse of a once living body that was beaten, kicked, raped, tortured, and eventually murdered. You are cooking a dead body. That is an act of violence. Taking a dead body and putting it on a stove or a grill or in the oven, it is an act of violence. Then, you then take that dead body and you chow down on it. You eat it, you chew it up, and you swallow it. That whole process is an act of violence, but it starts with the fact that you paid for it to happen. Because you bought it. You bought that animal product, or you bought that chicken from KFC or whatever. You paid for it to happen. You voted with your dollar, and that dollar cost someone their life. So the question is, why are we still condoning this act of violence in 2021? And what can you do to prevent it? Simple answer is to go vegan. And because we're selfish pricks as human beings. But a better answer is to stop supporting an industry that is built on violence and lies and discrimination and hate and whatever else you can possibly think of. Vote with your dollar. Make a better decision. We have so many different options out there that are all vegan, that are all cruelty-free, that no one dies for. Let's do better. Let's be better as humans. Let's show more love and more compassion to other innocent creatures, to those who are helpless to defend themselves. Shouldn't that be the least that we do as human beings? That's just my opinion. Thank you for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. And if you leave a comment, I'll probably respond to you. Who knows? Bye. Okay, I definitely respond to you. I'll respond to you if you leave a comment. Bye.